I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the honorable judges. Today we will discuss some arguments that have been discussed by OG and OG and OO under the motion that this house would impoverish the corruptors. But firstly, let me introduce myself. I'm Kisha Esther Siniwanwai from as a closing government from the University of Fajar. First, we go into the arguments of that OG been stated. But first, we go into my argument first. We know that corruption can endanger many aspects of state. It can also directly affect the citizen and society, the welfare of society. It also can make a bad impact on the society itself, also the welfare of the society and the state. And it is very critical and urgent for us to impoverish the corruptors, especially when we know it has a massive impacts on the state. We're talking about the people, we're talking about the infrastructure that needs to be funding of the state. Can also be affected from this corrupting or with these corruptors who do the corruptions. These corruptors also make themselves richer and richer by taking the money, also the wealth of the state that belong to the state, to build and improve the infrastructure and education and technology of the state that needs to be developed. And also, there are some arguments from the OO that we want to state here, that we want to rebuttal. They state that the jail time or imprisonment for these corruptors are enough for them to be punished. When we think that these corruptors who also rob the money or the wealth of the state and make themselves richer did not think that the impact that they made to the state, the society, we're talking about the society, the infrastructure need to be funding. And second, they're affecting, they state that these corruptors who be punished in the jail time, they're affecting their family negatively. When we think, in fact, that the family and their relatives of these corruptors can also be the one who consume and use the money or the wealth that they stole from the state to use for their own consumption, and the wealth and the money that is in there. Ladies and gentlemen, the third one is that they say that the impoverishment give the additional burden to the government, when in fact it is an urgent thing for us to act on it, because we think that with giving the jail time and also do the impoverish to these corruptors by giving them the terms to give back all the things that they rob to restore the destruction on every aspect of the state that they caused by their action doing the corruptions. Also, we think that the mechanism that OO offer, that the jail time is enough, it's not only giving the jail or imprisonment, instead give the additional burden to the government, because even in jail, we need to give and provide the facilities for these corruptors. And also this mechanism is in work, because we still see these corruptors everywhere in the news today, which is meant that this mechanism, which is to give only to these corruptors, give them to the punishments for jail only or imprisonment, is not enough and isn't effective, because the corruption is still doing by many corruptors. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we need a new approach, a new method that more efficient or effective to stop these corruptors once for all. And also, we believe that these corruptors, they do the corruptions to make them richer, right? So by doing this impoverish to these corruptors will be the effective, because it defeats the purpose of why they're doing these corruptions. And also, by doing this method to impoverish these corruptors, we can also redistribute the funding that they use for make themselves feel richer, to restore the damage that they made to the state and to the society or to the that affecting the infrastructure or the building of the infrastructure of the state. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we strongly believe that the method of impoverish these corruption will be effective and efficient, and also the best way. And the furthermore explanation will be mentioned and argued by my second speaker of the closing government. So thank you so much for your attention. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Right. I'm the second speaker of closing government, and I want to point out three statements that is stated by the opening oppositions. First, they mentioned about jails and imprisonment is already enough. And then second, they mentioned about the family of the corruptors will experience the negativity of by impoverishing the corruptors. And the third point is they mentioned that the jails and imprisonment is more preventive and more deterrent. Well, we are strongly disagree with those 3 points. First, the first point that jail and imprisonment is already enough. Well, we don't think that jails and imprisonment is enough, since they still have access to their wealth and their money after they are released from the jails and the punishment. Well, for example, we can take a look at regulations that handle the corruptors by putting them in jail or prison. Do you see that it is enough? Do you see that the rate of corruption is decreasing? Of course not. Instead, the corruption cases is still increasing, and we believe that corruptors also have, they have connections, and they have connection to people out there. They are willing to help them even though they are in jails, because the corruptors still have a big amount of money if we don't take it away from them to pay those people. And in this case, it will link to another corruption, which has a severe impact on the economy of a country. The second point, they stated that the family of the corruptor will experience the negativity of the impoverished. Well, those negativities are their children. They won't have access if the money is being taken away. Then they won't have access to proper education. They will have the lack of nutrition, and so on and so forth. But we need to think, and we need to consider the condition and situation of people whose money is being corrupted. How about them? But don't you find it ironic and unfair to that those innocent people, that those innocent families run to poverty, and they are also starving, while the family of the corruptors is living their glamorous and luxury life? And we see that there is no justice here. The victims here are not the families of the corruptors, but the families that are being corrupted. And the third point is the jails and imprisonment is more preventive and more deterrent. Well, we don't think so, because we believe that impoverishment is more preventive and deterrent for the corruptors. Why so? Because we all know that money and wealth is a powerful thing in the world, and we cannot deny it. Since money is the bridge to well, basically everything. And that is why if we take all the money they have, if we impoverish them, if their wealth is being taken from them, they will see this as a lesson. They will see this as a lesson because they know that their actions are affecting their beloved ones, and therefore they will think twice to do corruptions again. And because of that is why we are highly agree with the motion where the House would impoverish corruptors. We need to change Jamita agreements. We need to change or add regulations regarding corruption by impoverishing them, by impoverishing the corruptors. So where would the money that has been taken away from the corruptors? Well, the money taken by the corruptors can be redistributed to fix problem of a country. For example, on developing country that has main problems such as high rate of poverty and high rate of unemployment. And by doing this, the welfare of a country is able to be fulfilled. And it also can be used to improve several infrastructures that are still lacking. Because the money has been taken here, we're not talking about the small amount of money, but we're talking about the big one, the big amount of money. And it's not 100 or million, but it's billions. And that is why we should give zero tolerance to the corruption problem if you really want to handle this problem. And one of them is by impoverishing corruptors. That is all from me. Thank you.